I am so bored. I am so sick and tired of the same thing every day, day in, day out, day in, day out. No break, no rest, the same thing every morning, every day, and every evening. And so I've decided, or maybe not I've decided, but I've thought that maybe the solution is to make a change. It's always to make a change. But the solution is not just to make a change, but to make a challenge. To go for a long shot and try to challenge myself in something which I know I just about can do, but I will struggle with. Hello, I'm Grigori. I'm 16, kind of documenting my life on this YouTube channel, retelling it as I go along, trying to document any somewhat valuable insights I have. This is actually being recorded on a Monday, just to prove you guys that I can record on a Monday. And that's not actually the reason. The reason is to prove to myself that I can record on a day which isn't Tuesday or Wednesday, and also to get the ball rolling on this video. But all I'm going to record on Monday is this intro. And so I'm going to see you guys tomorrow when I record the rest of the video. And I'm likely just as tired as I am now, but for a different reason. Well, I guess I continue from what I just said. I'm so bored, everything's repetitive, blah blah blah. It feels a bit scummy to say that because it's the kind of thing people who are ungrateful say. They say, "Oh, there's nothing to do. Oh, there's nothing for me to enjoy anymore." I still think there is stuff for me to enjoy and there is still stuff for me to do. It's just I'm not seeking that. I'm not looking for something which I can't do. Although I often go to sleep tired, it's for the wrong reasons, for me not having enough sleep. And then sometimes I'm just not very aligned, I guess. The day's just been a bit of a waste and I'm just tired with myself. And that's not a good feeling. I'm tired of myself doing the same thing every day in, day out, as I said in the intro. Never stopping, it's just the same. It's the same morning. It's the same going to school. It's the same school. It's the same coming back from school and doing homework. And it's so tiring, so boring, and so demotivating. But I get through. I can push through. I have a little bit of discipline. But last week I didn't. And that's fundamentally what made me come to this realization of a challenge, which I'm going to come back to after talking about why I wasn't disciplined. I started reading 80/20 Principle by Richard Koch, and it's definitely a good book. It definitely has a lot you can learn from it, and I took a whole load of notes, wrote them down in my school notebook, not school book, and in fact I still have them and I will look over them because they are useful. However, there is a line in 80/20, something about the whole idea of the principle that says that 80/20 is a it's hedonistic. And that means that it seeks pleasure. As someone who I think has talked about pleasure before on this channel, pleasure I seem to generally see as lower enjoyment. Pleasure is stimulating the senses, whereas enjoyment is finding meaning in some intentional action. And so when 80/20 said that pleasure is the ultimate goal, I almost took that as an excuse to try it, I think. And so what I did is I did nothing for about 3 days. I was very, very poorly disciplined. I did a lot of, I'll say it and don't bug me about it, but I did a lot of useless stuff and I was very ineffective with my time. Very contrary to what 80/20 suggests. You're supposed to be judicious with your allocation of time, and then actually the time will come to you. Whatever. I was undisciplined. I was a hedonist, and now I am no longer. I realized this on Sunday. I had a little bit of a breakdown after reading. Not even a breakdown, a breakup. I break up. What I'm trying to say is it was the opposite of a breakdown because I realized stuff, and I realized that the way to get around this pleasure thing is to have a challenge. Back to challenges then. One of the best ways to find enjoyment is to work towards an achievable goal, something which is just outside of your comfort zone, but just within your range of capabilities. I personally call this a challenge. People think that challenges need to be bad or weird, but that's what I think of as a challenge. And so I realized that I just need to be more challenged. I need to try new stuff. And this has been a common occurrence in my life anyway. At school, a lot of the reason I didn't like it at primary and even going on to secondary was that I just found it very easy. I found it very simple and, as I said before, repetitive. In fact, now it's definitely coming to that point. School's just going to become a repetitive exercise of discipline and trying to stay sane with my friends because we're revising and every lesson is just going to be the same. But there's nothing I can do about that. And as I said, I'm just going to try take it as it comes and enjoy what I can. Trying to embody Adeline, as I said in the last video, and just try to enjoy myself. If I enjoy myself, then everything else will kind of be downstream, even though I'll be really tired. And so there's an obvious middle way between hedonism and over discipline. Over discipline, that will burn you out. Hedonism will just, it won't even burn you out, it will do the opposite. It will make you really dissatisfied. I think I might make a film about this. I've said it before. My friend, I started recording it with one of my friends, Leah, and yeah, we did most of it. Not most of it. We did a lot of it, and then I kind of tried to give up, but I'm not going to give up on him anymore. So, actually, going to make a film sometime. It'll come out on this channel. Yeah, there's an obvious middle way, which is very difficult to take. That path between the pleasure and the pain. That's exactly what I believe life before death and strength before weakness mean. If you don't know that the principles of the Knights Radiant from the book which I just read, it just means that before you are weak, try being strong. Before you are dead, try being alive. I'm going to try to do this middle way for as long as I can because it's worthless not trying because I'm in this life anyway. And I want to enjoy it. And I think this is the easiest way for me to enjoy it. The main problem with challenges, though, is that they're quite hard. And when something is hard, it requires a lot of energy, which you don't have if you're tired. I've been very tired. I'm not sure what this physical tiredness is from. It might still be a knock on of a couple of weeks ago when I did the burnout video, and I've just not fully recovered because I never got 10 hours of sleep. But I'm still very physically tired. My legs never feel 100%. Even though my mind feels about 95%, 90%, I know I'm not working towards my full capability. It's annoying, and it means I can't really act as much as I want to. But yeah, it's all right. I just need to make sure that I do get sleep over the half term, and I think sleep is so underrated. Maybe email newsletter at some point about this because it does come back to me quite a lot. Sleep is so, people forget about it so much, and I guess it's because it's easy to miss out on, even though it's actually the most important thing a human can do. And the reason we miss out on it is because we have obligations which make us not go to sleep at the time we're tired at. For instance, I'm really tired right now, but if I went to sleep right now, I'd miss dinner and I'd probably wake up at like 3 a.m., which would be fine because I get to do a lot of stuff in the morning. But I'd wake up everyone in my house. I'd have to eat breakfast. Like it would be quite difficult. Maybe in an ideal world, and that ideal world is hopefully not too far away. But luckily, because I'm tired, as I said before, I can always go to sleep tired. And that is something I've really thought about before, and I realize is quite a good goal. Now I think I might promise myself. I think I have promised myself to go to sleep tired every day. Whereas promises are often broken by many people, I am now going to try never break a promise. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very, very hard. As I said, strength before weakness. It's worth a try, and if I can show myself to be honourable, I think that's worth it because I want to be honourable. I want myself to be that kind of person. I see myself in 30 years as being honourable and someone who keeps to everything they say, doesn't say anything without gauging whether it's possible or not, and comes with a clean answer as opposed to a mishmash of jumbled words. I have thought about this. I think it was in the last video. Words of a bogatir is basically this. I think I said it in the last video. That's a concept of almost like an outline of how I should live, the equivalent of codes of a Lethkar. What I'm thinking is almost like writing out several rules for my life and trying to stick to them at every possible opportunity, and then reflecting on how my days have gone, my weeks have gone, my months have gone based upon these rules. I'd call them words of a bogatir, I think, because bogatirs are super cool dudes in Russian history, but you can research them by yourself if you want. Now, mental tiredness is quite easily solved by going into nature. I did exactly that on Sunday. I just went for a walk to a park and just climbed a tree and sat there and journaled, writing, not writing, speaking to this microphone in the tree for an hour. It was very nice. And what it made me really realize is how much we have lost our connection with nature, especially as city dwellers. The roads and the pavements are all asphalt. Even when they're not, there's no leaf litter, there's just grass. And that's not reflective at all of nature. The trees are London plains and they just don't really exist in nature. And even worse, people just driving cars everywhere and have completely lost the feeling of the earth. We've lost our senses. It's why I wear barefoot shoes, but we've just lost this connection, which is so natural. The feeling of the ground beneath us is exactly what our feet are made to sense. And yet, all of us wear massive shoes with huge soles. And in fact, they say that for working out and doing strenuous exercise, that's the best thing to do. I don't really buy that. I think that when something's going wrong, you have to look to what would have happened in a evolutionary perspective, which is how would a caveman get around this, and would a caveman have this problem? For instance, a headache, which you get from looking at a screen, is not a caveman problem. It's a modern human problem, and so you know that the way to remove that is to not look at the screen because cavemen wouldn't have done it. Similarly, for me, the problem of not being able to sense the earth beneath my feet is solved by wearing barefoot shoes and not wearing socks when I do. People might think I'm eccentric, and I'll respond with yes, yes, I think I am eccentric. I think that's the majority of my kind of big ideas. Now I'm going to get onto some of the smaller, more funny, light-hearted things. And the first one is, and please don't take this out of context because I know so many people at school watch these videos, but I, a couple of videos ago, I said that I have been asked a lot of times whether I want steroids or not. I'm not on bodybuilding steroids, but I found out, at least I think I found out, that the reason my skin was so bad was because I am on steroids. Wait, before you start commenting saying, what the fuck? It's a nasal spray which I use to sleep better, which is technically a steroid, and your body doesn't like steroids because it's not a caveman thing. Do you see that link? It's not a caveman thing because I was using steroids and not bodybuilding steroids. That's genetics and good diet and good environment, whatever. Steroids for getting to sleep. So I stopped using them. I've stopped using the spray, and my skin is genuinely getting a lot better. I've felt it in 3 days. So, guys, if there's something wrong with your skin, remove products first before adding them. You don't know which product might be causing it. Second thing is a little vision board, which I might make and perhaps might even appear in the edit if I do wind up making it. If it does, you put it in the video. Okay? A little vision board of stuff which I would like. Even if it's monetary things, even if it's physical things, a lot of them have some meaning attached to them. Just an example, one thing which I was thinking about recently is a bass guitar or a saxophone, something to play music on. Whereas that is just an object, it has a much deeper meaning for me because a lot of my friends play music. I'll be able to understand their conversations. And also, I think it's really cool and it will open up a whole new alleyway of relaxation and opportunities for me. So, buying a bass or a sax would be the way to go for that. I got a little YouTube blocker from my friend James. It's so good. I'll probably link it in the description. It's called On Trap. Very good if you want to stop watching YouTube on your computer. It kind of just restricts everything. I've got it to search only, so I can only watch videos when I search for them. Very good. It has completely discouraged me from watching YouTube. To-do lists need to be visible. If you can't see your to-do list, you're not going to do anything on it. And I've learned that the hard way because of Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law says that work will expand the time for it. And so when you don't know that you have some other task, if you've forgotten to show yourself your to-do list, obviously Parkinson's law is going to take over and you are not going to do it. At the moment, we have a German exchange in the house. And it really brings back memories from when I was on the German exchange. It was a long time ago now. Long time ago, meaning about 2 years ago. And it was a really, really good time. Nostalgia is not something I feel very often. So, as I was saying before my dad came in, Fabia's made me feel really nostalgic about Germany. And because I want to go back, I want to have a better grasp on the German language than when I first went in year nine. I feel like that's a given that I've spent 2 more years studying it. However, I don't want it to be like that. I want to make sure that I've actually put effort in. And it makes me realize that there are a lot of things I want to learn. I want to learn to do a lot. And obviously, you need time for that, but time's everywhere. You just have to make the time. So, yeah, there's a lot I want to learn. And I'm sure there's a lot you want to learn. So, maybe that's something I put on the vision board. I think a vision board is such a good idea because you can then just remind yourself every morning of what you are working for. It's almost like goals, but subconscious. Very, very effective, I think. Final thing, because I'm tired. Friends. I'm very glad to say that I finally found my flow with friends. What used to be a major point of insecurity for me has now become me feeling quite, yeah, I'm quite secure with who I'm friends with. And I'm definitely saying that I think I'm getting better friends with them. I'm really enjoying my time with them. And man, it's incredible what happens once you stop thinking, once you stop overthinking about everything which stuff entails. So, for instance, I was like, whoa, I was not like that. I was like, well, my friends are nerds. My friends can be annoying. So, I don't want to be friends with them. There was a point where that was genuinely a thought going through my head. As soon as I stopped thinking about it, literally, probably Christmas holidays, maybe even before, because I still wanted to be friends with who I'm friends with at Christmas holidays. But maybe before, there was a point where something clicked in my brain and I just stopped thinking about it. And it's so much nicer when you stop thinking about it, when you stop wondering, oh, what does this mean? Or when you stop wishing for something else, when you stop coveting, you really enjoy what you have so much more. And this is going to come up in another video because it's something which is so hard to implement. Every pain is from a craving, the Buddha said. And it's so accurate. It's a craving of something else. Once you remove that craving, you're satisfied with the present moment. Hopefully, there'll be a day where I can truly come to terms with this. But currently, if I do come to terms with it, I fear that I will plateau and never achieve my full potential. I'll never be able to be a YouTuber, be a filmmaker, be a photographer, do stuff which I love if I just am happy with the moment. Because if I'm happy with the moment, I think if I fall into pleasure, not only will I do worse on my exams, but I'll do worse on my tests, which I've set upon myself, like videos. So for now, I'm going to let myself covet. Maybe not covet. Let myself want and know when I need to disengage from that. And so we're left with the haiku at the end of the video. This one is about finding that middle ground. So let's go. A run and a leap, both needed to cross chasms. Both alone will fall. And the final thing before I leave you is, do you need a change or do you need a challenge in your life? Perhaps you need something like me. You need something big to really make you dream and act hard. Or perhaps you need the opposite. You need a removal of something, the way I removed swimming. You need a change to let yourself, embrace your potential, and ultimately enjoy the journey. Meanwhile, keep the faith, and I will see you guys next week.